They told you awakening would feel peaceful, but they didn't tell you it might feel like everything's falling apart. Because when God wakes you up, He doesn't always whisper. Sometimes He shakes the ground beneath your feet. This isn't New Age. This isn't manifestation or self-help. This is Christian spiritual awakening. And when the living God calls you to wake up, everything changes. You don't float in a bubble of bliss. You fall to your knees, you see the truth, and it wrecks you in the most holy, beautiful way. It doesn't usually start in church. It starts in pain, in the pit, in that moment when everything you've built your life on begins to crack. And deep in your spirit, you hear it. Not out loud, but real. Wake up. That's what Paul said in Ephesians 5:14. Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. He wasn't talking to strangers. He was talking to the church, to people who knew about God but weren't walking with Him, people who were asleep in the light. And maybe that's you. A spiritual awakening doesn't feel like a highlight reel. It feels like getting flipped inside out. You don't just start feeling closer to God, you start getting confronted by Him. And when that happens, your comfort zones collapse. You start to realize that everything you used to chase means nothing. The money, the praise, the followers. It doesn't feed your spirit anymore. You lose your appetite for empty things. Your soul starts to crave something deeper. Not louder music, not louder preaching, but stillness, presence, truth. You begin to hear Him in the silence, feel Him in the tension, see Him in the middle of your mess. And it's not always peaceful. When you start waking up spiritually, you'll feel disoriented, convicted, undone. Because the first thing God often shows you is the distance between where you are and where He's calling you. It's not because He's angry, it's because He's holy. Isaiah felt it. He saw the Lord seated on the throne, and he didn't dance. He said, "Woe is me, I'm ruined." That's the beginning of awakening. It's not pride, it's awe. And when you stand in awe of God, something shifts. You can't go back to normal. You can't just sit through another Sunday and pretend. You want Him, really want Him. And that wanting leads you into isolation. That's something people don't tell you. Awakening can be lonely. God will pull you out of circles you used to fit in, not to punish you, but to protect the seed He's planting. He often awakens you in secret, because what He builds in the dark will one day shine in the light. You'll start crying in worship without knowing why. You'll start praying in your car when no one's watching. You'll start hearing His voice in moments you used to scroll past, because now you're awake. And once you're awake, sin feels different. It's not just guilt, it's grief. Not because you're afraid of punishment, but because you love Him. And you don't want anything to come between you and Him again. Your spiritual senses sharpen. You stop needing constant noise. You stop chasing temporary highs. You realize peace isn't found in your feelings. It's found in your surrender. You also start to see people differently. You're no longer drawn to surface connections. You want people who carry oil, people who challenge you to go deeper, people who don't just quote scripture, but live it. And you begin to understand this isn't about religion, it's about relationship, a real one that costs something. Because anything worth awakening is worth fighting for. Think of the prodigal son. His awakening didn't happen in a synagogue, it happened in a pigsty. When he hit rock bottom, he remembered his father. He got up and went home, and the father ran to him. That's the picture. Spiritual awakening isn't about finding God for the first time, it's about returning to the one who's been waiting. And when you come back, He covers you. He doesn't shame you. He restores you. He reminds you, you were never unloved. You were just asleep. And what does that moment feel like? It feels like the chains snapping. It feels like the fog lifting. It feels like breathing real air for the first time. And you'll wonder how you lived so long without it. But here's the thing. Once you wake up, you'll never be the same, and you won't want to be. You'll stop living on autopilot. You'll stop trying to please everyone. You'll stop settling for spiritual crumbs, because you've tasted the real bread. You've seen the light, and nothing else compares. Does it mean everything gets easy? No. But it becomes worth it. You'll still face trials. You'll still have dark nights. But now you know the one who walks with you through them. You'll still wrestle with doubt. But now you have an anchor. You'll still feel weak. But now you understand. His strength is made perfect there. So if you're watching this and something in your spirit is stirring, if you feel like you've been going through the motions, if you felt tired, numb, disconnected, that may not be failure. That may be the beginning of your awakening. Don't run from it. Lean into it. God is not done with you. He's drawing near. He's removing the noise so you can hear him clearly. He's pulling you out of shallow waters, not to drown you, but to teach you how to walk on waves. So what does spiritual awakening feel like? It feels like breaking and becoming, like mourning and dancing, like fire and healing, like surrender, and finally being free. It feels like the moment the tomb was empty, the stone was rolled away, and light broke through darkness. It feels like resurrection, and it starts now.